Good evening, welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online, and we are getting down to the real business end of the VP4 2020 Snooker Masters, and we've got a double header tonight. We've got a one-loss side match between Bedhead and REELPOLANDPOWER. Now, REELPOLANDPOWER is here and he's in practicing. Bedhead isn't in the room yet as far as I know. Let's have a look. No sign of him. Looks as if he's going to, well, hopefully he's going to appear just before the top of the hour. This is going to be a race to 3, and that will see who gets through to the one-loss side final. And well, the winner of that match, or the winner of the match that we're about to see, hopefully, either Bedhead or Stubb, is going to be waiting on the loser of the match that's on later tonight. That's the winner's side match, the match of the tournament so far, I hope, or at least we're expecting it to be, and it's going to be between the favourite, Barker's 155, who's going to be playing Moz UK at 11:30, 23:30 British summertime. Bedhead has just arrived, so we're all good to go. We've got another couple of minutes. I'll do my little check first. Check my little doodle and get it to work. Yep, a wee bit laggy. It should be okay. So, quick look at this internal browser, and we'll see this is a match that we're waiting on, the one between Bedhead and Stubb, or REELPOLANDPOWER. Bedhead from Sweden, Stubb from the USA, and the match later on tonight, which we'll have also, luckily because it's my day off tomorrow. I didn't expect to have 2 matches tonight. I knew we had 1 match, the one between Barker's and Moz. That's a few hours away, so we look forward to that one, and welcome to everybody. Well, I've just switched it off there. Matt Williams won that last frame. I'm going to rely on you guys to keep me up to date on what's happening in the snooker. We should be streaming live to Twitch, to YouTube, to Facebook, and well, we don't know how this match will go. Good evening. I've set my my chat, not the chat, the game HUD to big text, but it's made it even worse to look at the, wait a minute, hang on a second, where the hell's the settings? I'm going to change that because it's too big. I can't read the chat. Game font, chat font, put that back down. But put it down to that. Oh, that's too small. My eyes are that bad I can't see that. Right, anyway, let's get ready. The room is up. Let's go in. Hopefully we're in time. We might have missed a lag. Well, that's good, Moz. That suits me down to the ground. Ideal. I'm fine. I can stay up all night if I need to. It doesn't matter. So it looks as if well, either Stubbs won the, is there a lag for the break, or is it, I can't even remember. I can't remember if there is a lag, but if there was a lag, then it is a coin flip. Right, now let's check my other camera. Yeah, it does that because I think I set it with a 10-footer table. Let's go back to that one. So, just what is going to happen in this match between Bedhead and Stubb? Well, Stubb's going to be cagey. 10-10 in the O'Sullivan match. Well, there's a loose red for Stubb to have a go at. Now, he can have a free go at this red and come back for the black. Yeah, he's not interested. Just looking to keep it tight. But, of course, now we have a red in the bottom half of the table. So, the safety zone is down behind the black. I subscribed to a guy. I was watching, you know how I play Eurotruck, and I've been watching a couple other guys' channels, and one guy I subscribed to last week, he's all excited because he's now got 500 subscribers, and I look to see how many I've got. I think I've got 406 now, without even trying. I've got subscribers from people I've never heard of, never seen. I think they're bots, to be honest with you, because when you actually click on their names to take them to their channel, there's hardly anything on their channels. So this guy's having a celebration because he's got 500. So not a lot happening at the moment, folks. Well, something's got to give at some point, because these reds are gradually going to just spread out. And the danger is exposing that red that's near the right middle pocket. You've got to be careful with that one, because that red obviously goes into the right middle. So sooner or later somebody's going to slip up. Selby's beginning to find that grinding way of playing things, so he is. Good evening, welcome if you've just joined us. This is the first match in a double header tonight. This one lost side match between Stubb and Bedhead, and then we have the match of the tournament, the big match, the hot seat match, is going to be in a few hours time at 11:30 British summer time, and that will be between Barker's 155 and Moz, and Barker's will be the favourite, but as I keep saying, doesn't matter how good they are in this game, there are ways to stifle them, there's ways to keep them out. You just got to be careful. Well, he's only going to destroy him if he lets him destroy him, that's what I say. Yeah. Well, the mistake has been made, and Bedhead has a starter, and he's on the blue. Now, well, that red that is there is still there, but it's now blocked by a second red, so Bedhead is going to struggle to get on a red here. The question is whether he can get round behind the black and back over to this side where we are. Well, he's managed across now. He's going to have to take that red on the rail. But of course, he's not going to score much unless he gets into those reds off this black, and he can certainly stun into them. More likely to stun into the two below the pink, if anything. And he didn't really get the stun. In fact, maybe the angle wasn't that good either. So it's only a slender few points that Bedhead has, and he's given Stubb an opening red, but once again the big point colours are dead and buried in amongst the reds, so it's going to be difficult for Stubb to score unless he's got a slight angle in this red and he wants to be brave and take a risk here, but that's usually not recommended. So, well, if he takes a yellow, he's coming across for one of those two reds on the right hand side, but he could run for cover here. That red to the right of the black will go though. You can see that goes. So he actually looks as if he's intended to play this one, and that will certainly move the black. Now if he plays it gentle, he's taking a risk, because that red in the left hand side there down in the bottom left is blocking the pocket effectively for the black if he brushes onto the black. No, he doesn't. Barker's is a proper snooker player. He does a proper break. So Stubb focusing on the red. Well, he's actually stunned between the reds and the black. Once again, he should be looking to get good length on this cue ball. Now the safety zone is up in that top left hand corner. This is where he wants to be, up here in this area, and he can do that off the yellow, because that leaves no shot in this other than a safety shot, and he certainly, Bedhead won't be potting any of those two. So top left hand corner is where he should be looking for, but he's choosing the blue. And once again, not a shot I'd be even looking at, because you'll get nothing to gain from it other than taking a big risk. All Stubbs trying to scrape together here is a few points. It's not going to win him the frame. And again, he's got a chance to get up in the corner and hide. I think if I was Stubb, I would be trying to keep it very tight, because he's not going to win playing like this when it's so difficult to actually score. It's much better trying to make it so difficult for your opponent not to score, rather than you trying to keep things going and then eventually you go and do something stupid. Well, he had a go, and again he wouldn't have had a colour. And now the problem is we have a red in bulk. So Bedhead can certainly play down into bulk, but if he doesn't cover the red, then it's an easy safety for Stubb. So Bedhead has surrendered really control of the table to Stubb. Let's have a quick look at this pack of reds. Right, look at that. Look at those two reds there. And look at the line of them. I think it's just going to the jaw. Well, it's changed now. touching ball. Now Bedhead has finally got up into the corner. Well, that's unlucky, he scratched, but he's not left a lot on here. In all honesty, Stubb will probably line up for one of those reds just to try and get the 8 points. I would think, in fact, if he rolls through a bit, he could probably get on the pink as well. No, the pink's a bit too tight. Well, don't know what happened there, Stubb, but you certainly didn't hit it enough. And the mouse is getting the blame. So he's left. Again, should he have been going for any of those reds when once again there's not an awful lot on offer? Anyway, Bedhead in with a chance, and he's just overhit it slightly. Now, he could take the yellow and try and drop onto that red in the right hand cushion. That'd be one option. The angle he's got here in the black, well, it's a tester. And he's finally got on this red that's been there right from the start of the frame. Now, has he got an angle just to run through for the blue? I think he could just pinch a little bit, just very slightly, just to get through onto that blue. And Bedhead allowing himself to get distracted with the chat. And that's a bit too strong there on the draw. Now, well, he should get that, shouldn't be any problem. Just dead weight pace will give it every chance just to drop in, and he'll be on either the green or the brown, I would think. Well, again, he just hit it a bit too hard. Now, you know what he should be doing next. There's nothing down here to pot. He should be rolling in behind the brown. That will do. Now that red to the left of the pink is obviously the only one that does pot. Oh, and Stubbs going to be blaming the mouse again because he didn't have the pace there at all. So that's 2 shots. Stubbs, well, I think in his last match he was blaming his monitor was in the wrong position. Now he's going to be blaming the mouse. So he's going to get another go at this. And he'll get another go. 7 points to Bedhead. I'd stick him in again, make him sweat for it. That's a better one. Little feather will do. Barely brush the red. Try and sneak in behind that brown again. Let's have a look at what he's got. Well, there's an edge showing, but again, when you play these shots, you've got to watch where this red's going to go. So he has to get this really slight, and he's missed it altogether. And Stubbs, I've never seen Stubb being so generous. And I think the mistake's big enough now that the red that we spoke about is on. That one there. And these reds are going to open up. So this may, if Bedhead gets a bit of luck here. Oh, that's unlucky. I think he might be hampered on this pink. Is he? I think it's a bit fidgety, but he should be okay. He doesn't need to do anything, just roll it in. He's on the red on the right hand side. And this has got these reds wide open. And Bedhead, what the hell's the score? I've made the HUD too small, I can't read it. Bedhead on 38, Stubb on, well, 44, Stubb on 13, so 31 points the lead. And the pink still goes, black goes as well, so this is certainly a very good chance to secure the frame. I'm going to have to make that HUD bigger again because I can't see it and I'm sitting right in front of the monitor. Well, that's a big mistake there by Bedhead. Now, can Stubb respond? Just give me a wee second, guys. I'm going to set that HUD back to what I had it at because I'm totally blind. Yeah, where the hell's the... Right, let's see how that looks. That's better. That's going to have to do. Well, I think that's a mistake by Stubb because he's snookered himself on the black, and he should be rolling in behind the brown. I mean, you've got to take your medicine. There's still a good chance here if he gets this tight. Bedhead has just got to hit and hope. Now he can either try to roll onto a red or just give it the old heave ho, hit the amp button and then give it a blast and hope you get lucky. Not an awful lot of options available to him. Still a 31 point lead though, but that could certainly dwindle. It certainly will start doing that now that he's hit the pink, so Stubb will put him back in. Oh yes, Stubb would have lost all his front teeth a long while ago if he was in the club I was in and he spoke the way he spoke. He'd have got a beer glass across his face. Most certainly that would have happened. But once again, he has the chance to redeem himself in this frame. All the reds there. Now can he just get the touch right here, because all he needs to do is pot the 7. Now he's hit that far too hard. His pace is too heavy. It needed to be a lot more gentle. He's leaving himself the higher angle cut here, and he can still go on the black, although he'd be taking a risk. Could easily block himself off here, but well, he's stunned into the red. He's got a straight in pink with nothing to do with the cue ball. So that's a little bit of rub of the green that you need there. But slowly and surely he's beginning to pinch back the points. Once again, nothing to do with the cue ball, a roll in. Now, that black, let's have a look. Well, the black can go in its spot, no problem. And just a natural shot to go through and out for the red. I think he's a bit straight in this red. Yep, he's just going to get a wee bit of top on it to run around. Doesn't want to leave himself too square. So Stubb just a point behind, and all the colours on their spots with one red remaining. So that was a bad black for Bedhead to miss, because it could potentially cost him the frame now. That's a better pace shot. That's much better. Could tell straight away. That, however, is not so good. He's going to leave himself a fair distance from this yellow if he doesn't want to try and do anything stupid with the cue ball here. He needs to go through and across between the blue and pink. But if he tries to squeeze too much out of this, it could cost him. Well, that's again pretty good pace this time. And a nice angle just to run through off the end rail. Got to hit this hard enough though. You're much better to over hit this than under hitting it. You don't want to leave it square in the green, and he's made sure of that. In fact, well, he's over hit it a bit too much, and this time he should be stunning for the brown into the same pocket. He could go forward though, but he should be stunning it in. Break goes to 41. He's taking his time, and once again he's overhit that by the country mile. That's just where Stubbs getting things wrong. He's leaving himself too much to do here, but he has a lead of 19 points, and this is frame ball. And in it goes. So the lead is 23. One snooker required to tie. Provided this blue doesn't go in, the blue will just seal the deal in the frame, and in it goes. And this has been a good effort by Stubb. That miss on the black by Bedhead. Those last three reds wide open, and Stubb has come up with the goods. Bit of left hand side if he wants to try and check the cue ball for the black, but he hasn't done, just hit it plain ball. And that's well done. So a clearance by Stubb and a break of 66 has secured him the first frame. And so Bedhead now knows that Stubb can inflict damage if he's given the opportunity. And with those last three reds being wide open, although he was leaving himself too many long shots there, but he got through it. So Bedhead has to keep it tight. It's only a short race to three. And Stubbs' assessment of his effort, not bad. And not a bad break off by Bedhead either. Well, he's just going to be rolling up to this. There's nothing much he can do here, I think. He could certainly... Well, I think the brown's actually blocking the line to go into the pack from that side, so there's a bit of thinking needing done here, but I think Stubbs just going to look to roll through here. Maybe finish in the corner, in the left hand corner. Not a lot there. Trying to come in behind the black. Oh, Stubb does the same thing. He's going to send a red up the table. That's good weight, perfect weight from Bedhead. Stubb right on that bolt cushion. Now he could bank the red across the table to the cue ball back into ball, but again he's going for the pot with nothing available apart from, well, does that pink go? Yes it does, but nothing to be gained after it though. Well, Bedhead's looking to play the draw, get the cue ball up the table, but he's got a fair amount of zip in it. I think the zip off the, I don't know what the rail speed is on these compared to the pool tables, but certainly it seems that it's maybe a bit more lively than these guys expect. Bedhead's overhit that by a big margin, although he's got the yellow into the middle. Now trying to stun it in behind the brown, but that didn't work out. So now we're going to have a bit of safety, and the target area is up by the green and brown, using that blue as a blocker for the left hand side of the pack. That yellow might be acting as a blocker as well. Let's see what that looks like. Well, just an edge of that red showing. Bedhead playing it with left hand side just to check the cue ball so that it doesn't run towards that pocket, so that it squares up off the rail a bit. And that's a good shot. Plenty of room behind that red though, as we look off there, and put a bit of side on it just to make sure. But the problem is, put too much on it, you could end up here and open up the red, so got to be careful. And the other danger is going around the corner and trying to get up the table on the left hand side. There's a danger of running into that blue. This is the things you have to assess as you're about to play this shot, because there's a danger in this with that red line wide open, and Bedhead has seen that, and he's played a pretty good shot, although left hand side of the table's open up for stub, but it's at least covered the danger red. Now those three reds above the black, not one of them pots. But he can use those three reds as a stopper for the one that he's going to play, and that should take him back into that bulk area if he gets the pace right. But he's not prepared to take that risk. Stubbs worried that if he doesn't get cover, he's going to leave Bedhead a go at that red on the right hand side. Well, an easy safety with a wee bit of right hand side in the cue ball, skim off that red there and take the cue ball up this way. I mean, this is a difficult enough red, but if you're prepared to take that, you're going to run into things and you just don't know what's going to happen. But that would be the safety shot. The narrower safety shot without a lot of side or anything would be just to skim off it and try and run up to here and use that as the blocker in the red. So there is a safety on, but Bedhead's not prepared. See, again, there's a bit more zip in the cue ball than Bedhead's anticipating, and that's why he's spinning off the rail and got a lot of momentum in the cue ball there. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to try and rest in behind the black, but the reaction's a bit more than these guys are used to on the pool table. And the other problems, maybe they're digging, you know, going too low in the cue ball and getting too much zip on it anyway. You need to sometimes just barely go below the equator to soften the spin and therefore soften the reaction off the cloth. So it's given Stubb a starter, but it'll have to be the green. And well, the shot is, if he goes down this side, he's got to either be on that one, or if he runs too far, he'll be on either of those three. But that's not the shot I would have played, because again, you've got to give yourself options. If he'd gotten down this side, he would have had a choice of 2 or 3 reds. He put all his eggs into one basket for the one red. Now the black isn't going, so the cue ball's having to travel, and now Well, what's he got? The yellow goes, and if he's going to play this yellow, he can certainly stun down and hit something, although he doesn't need to. He could come off it, and he's got a choice of 3 or 4 reds. Maybe the angle's a bit too high though in the yellow. And from this side it doesn't look too bad. He could draw off it and be on either of those 4 reds. Well, the yellow definitely goes 100% past the blue. He's played for the brown to still come down the right hand side of the table, but to me the yellow would have been the easier shot, and he's got there. Now Bedhead could take a risk on that middle red, that one there, and run in. If he runs into the black and the red, he'll send the black this way, and if he has the pace right and not too hard, the cue ball should be there or thereabouts for a pot in the black. That's the plan, and that has worked out perfect. The commentator's eye has called it again. That's worked out very nicely indeed. Now, what kind of shape has he got here? The black will spot it. That other red there goes, so he just needs to get up the table. If he goes too far, he's got this red. So all focus on the black and let the cue ball do the rest here, and that will do nicely. So at least he's on the red. And I'll look at it for this side. He's pretty straight, and well, a very, very gentle roll in. Trying to brush off the red, but he's leaving a cut back. Now this has to be gentle because the red at the top of the bunch goes, and it has to be really just enough weight to get up the table, up to here, and the angle's there to do it. Cue ball going that way and something like that. He's just overhit it slightly, just too much weight, but that was the plan, and he's still got a shot here. And well, I don't think he can avoid hitting those reds, but I don't think he's going to hit them full blast. If he actually tries to stun off this red, he might get lucky again and get help to get on the black, but it's taking a risk, and considering the state of the table with all the colours, he's not going to have an awful lot of choice if he doesn't land in the black. It's not guaranteed he will though, but there is a gap there. Yeah, he's tried his best to do something to get there, but it didn't work out. And now, well, does the blue go? Oh, the blue goes 100%. So that's the shot. Now if he just gently pots the blue, he's on the red to the left hand side of the table with a roll in to be on the black. That should be the plan, because again with that shot I'm talking about, you're not doing too much, you're not trying to create too much. Bedhead not prepared to take the risk. What's happening in the O'Sullivan Williams match, guys? Keep me up to date, please. Well, Stubb taking a big risk again there, and this time he could pay 11-10 to Ronnie. He might have broken the back of Williams now, I think. Oh dear. See, Bedhead's just overhitting it slightly. You need to be a lot more gentle. Again, he can go full-blooded and stun up into the red. He's got to be on the red to the left of the black. He'd be really unlucky if he wasn't, but he's got to go full-blooded. Well, he's missed him completely. I think he can still have a go at that red at the back of the bunch. And then maybe not, looking at it. That's the one he's going to go for, the one up in the top right. Yeah, one of them isn't rated properly because Bedhead doesn't play snooker and Stubb doesn't either. Stubb's rating is based on his overall rating, not his rating for snooker. That's a bit better. Now, slowly but surely, Bedhead is building up a little lead here, as he did in the first frame. 12-10 to O'Sullivan now. Well, he's on the hill. What about that other match? How's McGill getting on with Kurt Mafflin? That's a better pace. Or is it? Is he still on it? Yeah, he's played that well. Now again, the safest shot is a roll through and around the corner. See, he's gone. That'll do. I thought he'd gone too far again. Yeah, the McGill Mafflin match. McGill had a 4-frame lead at the start of the night, I think. How's he doing? I'd like to see a Scot in the semis. But I think Kyron Wilson is gearing himself up for a full-blooded attempt at winning this. He's well capable of it. He's played pretty well. Well, that's gone all wrong. And of course now the problem for Bedhead is there's a red adjacent to this bottom right hand corner. Now Bedhead trying to just roll the blue. Now what about those two reds? Look at those two reds. They're not a plant. He's trying to cover that red, which he's managed to do, but he's left Stubb a choice here, and there's one choice, and that's to have a cut at this red, because I don't, unless he just rolls through towards the black and try and get onto that top cushion. But if he does that and pushes that red through, he's going to leave Bedhead a shot at one of these reds into the middle, and they both go, I think. And let's see what Stubb does if he's gearing up for the pot. Well, he's all out for the pot, and he's what, 43 behind, is he? Well, 43 behind, but still a colour to follow, or a safety. And let's be honest, he ain't got much choice, has he? I think he's just push the black through, try and get onto the bottom cushion, but he needs to go he needs to go this side. He doesn't want to leave a shot at these into the middle, so he needs to finish here. He's going all out for the cut. You see, that's just, well, he's been lucky that the black stayed where it is, because that would have sold the frame there. But it's a vital 7 points lost, so Stubbs got a big challenge to win this frame. And well, that squeezed past the black. That's a bonus. That's a good shot. I never even looked at it. So the lead is 44. The black will give him a 51 lead with only 43 in the table. So just trying to drop through for one of these reds. Well, does it go in the middle? It most certainly does. Nice and gentle. It might even just drop in off the jaw. Oh no, it's not. Must have been a wee space between them. Or he's just, I don't know whether he tried to make it, but that was ugly. But it doesn't matter. There's no harm done. The frame is more or less safe, but if Stubb could have dropped that and nailed it right behind the black there, it might have been a different story. So Bedhead just looking to roll this red in or over the pocket. Or is he going for the cut? Well, even if Stubb gets in and potted these two reds, he certainly wouldn't want to, because you'd really always try and leave the one red in the table, and the blue is still in an awkward spot, and Bedhead has just scratched. Or has he? Well, that's done everything but drop into the hole. Good evening, Mark. Welcome to any other latecomers. Well, there's a fluke for Stubb that he didn't want. So try and drop the blue in. Now the yellow and pink are in a good spot as far as getting a snooker's concerned. Oh well, I don't think, I'll tell you something, Moz, I don't think it's a wise idea for you to be in the stream. No, with this guy, I think you need to be fully focused. And when you've got somebody tuning your ear and chatting away to you, it takes away full focus from the job in hand and what's required. That'd be my advice. Yes, by all means, Duffman can stream it, but I wouldn't be in the stream if I was you. That's just a bit of tactical advice. I think you need all your focus in dealing with that guy. Well, quick recap. Bedhead 50 points the lead. The colours are sitting good for a snooker, and that's unlucky for Stubb. Had the right idea, but that's now made sure that the frame is going to Bedhead and we're back all square. So this is just the formalities here. The frame's well and truly over now. Excuse me. Yeah, but I think the reason he would do that is because he doesn't know how to resign the frame. He doesn't look at the menu. Uh, what time is it across in the States? Well, it's 3 different times at least. Well, the most common times at the moment, it's coming up to what, 4 o'clock in the afternoon over in New York. Oh, you talking about over here? Well, over here it's 5 minutes to 9, almost. Just coming up to 5 minutes to 9, and then in a couple of hours' time at 11:30 or 6:30 East Coast time, we'll have the match between Moz and Barker's 155. And that was a good clearance, just to ram the message home to Stubb. Bedhead wins the frame 91 points to 7. And Stubb going with his trusty old reliable soft break and leaves Bedhead a free go at a red and an option to go on the black. But deciding to try and get distance between cue ball and reds. Now, is Stubb going to go all out here? Because there's the bait. The bait is there for Stubb. Big smack in the red. Red's going all over the place, hoping he gets lucky in a colour, but I don't think he's going to take the bait. Or can he resist it? Well, I think he's going to take the bait. Well, he's had a go, not the shot he should have played. And he's going to leave Bedhead a good few points here if he wants them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reds available without having to move anything. Now, straight away here, Bedhead should be trying to play for that red there, that one. If he can get that one, that's the awkward one out of all the ones that are out in the open. And if he'd gone too far, he'd have been on that one, and if he'd gone too far, he'd have been on that one. But he's got another way of doing things. I would have certainly played for that one because it still gives me a choice on that side of the table. Now you see with this shot, he either goes right through and he's on either of those 2 reds again, these 2 here, or he just drops it in for this one. But he's gone around the corner and he's just gone a wee bit too far. How does that look? No, it's just a gentle roll in the black. The cue ball does everything else. You don't need to do anything. The cue ball's got to be on that red. So it's easy points here for Bedhead if he just minds his work. It's a chance to just get a nice healthy little lead, put the pressure on his opponent. And he doesn't want to leave himself dead straight in this red here. And that'll do. Once again, nothing to do with the cue ball other than focus and potting the red, because the cue ball does everything else naturally. He's got to be on the black. Now, well, it's a draw. got to draw the cue ball. I mean, he could roll the blue in and he's guaranteed to be on the red in the left middle. But if he plays the big draw off the black, again he could be on that red in the middle. Or is he rolling that one? Well, not the again, not the shot I would have played. He's given himself one option and now he's over the black. I think he should have played the draw, get that cue ball out into open play. He's now only got this one shot, but he's played it well, and now he's back in business. Well, that's what I would have done. I would have screwed back off the rail, up into the table, bound to be on the red into the middle, but Bedhead's got his way of seeing things. But now the important one is trying to get something happening with these reds, and the angle he's got in the red is too much to hold for the blue, so he's running down for the black, and he's going to have to dig and get a good stun. But I don't think he'll do an awful lot of damage here. He needs to really see. He can either do that or run for cover. You think about it, he's got a 45-point lead. Is it worth taking that risk? Well, he went sort of half-hearted at it, and well, he's left stub an awkward red into the middle. I think it would have been better to just mind your work and go and hide. I mean, the positive shot was to try and get into the reds like he's done, but he didn't really get right into them. But he's given Stubb the chance, and it's, well, how that went in I don't know. I mean, it's went in off the yellow at that pace. But like I say, you've got a 45-point lead. Is it worth taking a risk when you've got yourself back into the match? Well, you'll never get an apology off Stubb for being lucky, I can guarantee you that. You can wait till the cows come home, you can wait till hell freezes over, all the cliches you want to wait for, but you certainly ain't going to apologise. Yeah. Yeah, 45-point lead, you have to run and hide. You have to make your opponent sweat rather than giving him a start. Okay, if he gets the black and gets into the reds and finished where he was and was still at the table, he's a hero, but well, it's a question of whether whether Stubb can score, and he's got a break in the reds. Now how's his luck? Well, it's not very good because the blue has blocked off his path, and once again Stubb's got the dilemma of trying to find a safety, but I don't really think Stubb thinks a great deal of safety here. If he's going all out for this cut in this red, this could be selling the frame. Well, he's got it, and now he who dares wins. Is Bedhead going to pay the price? Well, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the shot you would always play is play the black. It wasn't the greatest of angles to get really into the reds. Fair enough, he got there and he got on an awkward red. But look what's happening because of it though. He ends up missing the black and he gives Stubb a free go. The question is where the scoreboard's going to be at the end of this visit. it's unlikely Stubbs going to get on any of those two reds and the left of the pink, so he has to just get the pace of this right, cue ball out into the table. More than likely it could be the red above the black if he plays at the right pace. If he goes too high, he's going out for the red into the bottom right hand corner. A lot of players don't play for 2 to 3 reds for options. Oh, there's a yawning started. It's 9:05. It's already past my bedtime normally. The old brain's on shutdown mode. And these reds are sitting prime. And Bedhead could be kicking himself by the end of this visit. Because he could very well be losing 2 frames where he's been in a strong position in each frame. And Bedhead lost the first one with a, what was it, a 60 odd or a 70 break or whatever it was, clearance by Stubb, more or less. Well, it's always, I mean, obviously when reds are there, it's just about trying to get down into a zone to give yourself that choice. And some of the shots these guys play aren't necessarily what you describe as conventional, but the fact that they can pop balls always means that they're going to be scoring regardless. But as a conventional way to play snooker, it's a bit unorthodox. What's happening in the Williams O'Sullivan match? Nobody's told me anything for 10 minutes. It must be over now, surely. And don't call me Shirley. And nobody's told me what's happening in this Anthony McGill match. If you don't tell me, I'm going to have to tab out and go and find out for myself. Well, that's just a bit too strong again. Still got the pot. The break goes to 38. And I'm still going to say it, Bedhead should have run for cover. A healthy 45-point lead, and he's watching it all dwindle away. If he'd played a very good safety, he would have been Stubb under a lot more pressure than he is right now. And all these colours, apart from the pink, are going to be on their spots again. Well, that final frame that he needs must be going on for a wee while. I doubt it's a bit scrappy. Oh, well, that'll be it all over then. Well, it looks as if Stubb's going to run out here. Well, I'll say this. Bedhead's now, if he didn't learn his lesson from that first frame, he's now going to learn his lesson, hopefully, in this third frame, because it's exactly the same scenario. Bedhead got himself in a good position, made the mistake, and Stubb has come in and is looking very likely to clear up. And this has been well played by Stubb. Credit where credit is due. Bedhead's made 2 errors, and they're going to cost him 2 frames by the look of it. So the lead is 7. The lead will be 11 with a brown. And just this straight in blue to seal the frame. And it's a job well done by Stubb. And like I say, I still think you've got to just bite the bullet sometimes. Yes, you can be brave and go all out, but when you've got a shot where you're having to force to get that cue ball into the reds, if you don't get that sweep, that black's going to stay out. And of course, just when you don't want to have that luck and get on a red, he left Stubb on a red, and it's another 70, what is that? 78 clearance by Stubb. That is excellent. And well, if you're going to give Stubb the chance to pot balls, he's going to pot them, and he's done well twice tonight. Now, is that a plant? No, it isn't. And Stubb misses a red, and Stubb now leads by 2 frames to 1 in this race to 3. And so Bedhead now has all the pressure stacked on him, and he's brought it upon himself, I'm going to say. It's all very well being wise after the event, but as I said at the time, he should have went and probably run for cover and applied the pressure that way rather than trying to be a hero. Well, Stubb has shown his determination to hang in this tournament. If he goes through, he's going to be waiting to play the loser of the match that we have later on tonight in just over 2¼ hours time. It's the match between Moz UK brackets, who now lives in Texas, against Barker's 155, who has a UK flag but probably comes from Colombia. Who knows? And the reds are now opened. There's a red and a black for a start here for Bedhead, and in goes the red. And now, well, he has to go right around the corner, not past the pink here. It would be, well, those 2 reds don't go, so he has to get right up past the pink if he's going to leave himself a red. I don't see any other way of getting there. It needs to keep going, and it needs to miss the pink. And he's just got there. That was well played. And of course the other problem is the black's gone on the pink spot. Now he can actually just drop through for the gap if he wants, for that black into this middle pocket. The little angle he's got in the red, well, I don't know why he didn't see that shot, because he's now left it awkward in the pink, an awkward angle. Now, I mean, he can pot the pink. I don't know whether he needs to put, well, I think he needs to put a bit of side on that if he wants to try and come out for this red. Potting that pink, the cue ball's going that way, and where's the red coming from there? He's trying to come back across for that red, and that's pretty well played again. Pink's now down on the brown spot. And now round behind the pack and back up the table for any colour will do. Well, this time he's under hit it, trying to hold for the black, and he hasn't got there. And well, the green and down the right hand side for this red on the black spot. But even then, I think he's probably easier going forward, and even if he came down this side, he'd have to go too far to get on that red, so his chances of getting on a red are fairly slim. Well, this time is definitely end of break. Now, there's nothing in the pack that will go, so it's just about trying to get good length in this cue ball, and that looks good to me. That looks pretty good. Excellent weight, just a wee bit short, but when you look from behind the cue ball, Stubb doesn't have a shot. He's just going to roll up to the right of the black. That looks a bit heavy to me. Well, he's been fortunate there, because that red is now exposed and it's put Bedhead in a wee bit of trouble, but he'll just stun the cue ball, stone dead. So any latecomers, not that there probably is any now, but any latecomers, this is Virtual Pool 4 online, and we're watching the one lost side match in this year's Virtual Pool 4 2020 Snooker Masters, and it's between Stubb from the USA, Bedhead from Sweden, race to 3, and we've got the hot seat match to see who's going to be the first player through to the final, and that's coming up later on, just in 2 hours and so many minutes, 2 hours 10, 12 minutes or whatever, between Barker's 155 and Moz, and we'll be streaming that live after having a coffee break. But we're now at a critical time, because these reds are ever so gradually opening up more. Oh, there's a mistake. That's a mistake by Bedhead. Is it a big enough mistake? No, it isn't. He's got away with it. Just got away with it. I thought that cue ball was just sneaking out from behind that red to give Stubb a pot there. Well, now there's nothing happening in this side. What about that red there? Well, that red will go if you were playing safe down this side. You'd still have to probably get that covered up. It looks as if it will go, but somebody's got it. I mean, the brown and pink are good cover up at the top end of the table, but I don't think anybody's prepared to take that risk. Well, Bedhead might be thinking of it this time. He's thought about it and doesn't like it. He'd be moving too much. But even so, Bedhead's 19 points the lead. I think it is. Bedhead's been in the lead in every frame. Certainly the two. A respotted black. Oh Jesus. Well, fingers crossed for you, Mark Williams. He might not be dead and buried yet if he can get out of that one. Mark Williams certainly likes to live on the edge. Oh, that's a good shot by Stubb. A brave one. And look at the reds. And it's a roll in the blue. And he's got to be on a choice of 2 or 3 reds here. Doesn't need to do anything at all with the cue ball. Oh, well. He's trailing. But like in the 2 frames that he's won so far in this match, he's won them with good clearances. And is he going to do it the 3rd time? Well, just overran it for the blue, but the green will do it. Again, shouldn't have any problem having a shot in a red. There's reds all open more or less, but he's got to get this cue ball up the table. Is he playing the pink? Now where's the pink going to spot? Back on the brown, I think. Yep. Oh, he's won it. 13-10. Well, that's Ronnie O'Sullivan through to the semi-final. And he'll be playing Selby. Oh, that'll be torture for O'Sullivan, that match. Absolute torture. I'll tell you, if Selby starts playing the way he was playing 2 or 3 years ago, he'll grind Ronnie O'Sullivan into the ground. And O'Sullivan will lose interest. And Kyron Wilson plays either what's his name, the Scottish guy in Mafflin. But Stubbs' break goes to 21. He goes into the lead, and is he going to run out the 3 frames that he's going to have in this match? Because that's the way it's looking very likely. Well, if he plays a yellow, again he comes up the left hand side of the table. The problem is he's going to have to be careful. He's got the 1 red. 12-9, he's on the hill as well. But that's the problem for Stubb. If he plays the yellow and comes up here, he's only got the 1 red to play for. if he thumps it in and comes across, he's given himself a choice of a couple of reds. Well, again, he's leaving everything at big distance here. But he can just roll the red in and he's on the black cross table. With this shot here, unless he's prepared to risk doing anything with the cue ball, he's only going to roll through across and back out. And on this red here, I can't see him doing anything else unless he wants to try and stun it in and sort of finish here, give him a choice. That would be normally the shot, but if he doesn't want to risk it, he's going to run through and leave himself the long red again. And don't forget, McGill's won his 2 matches he's played so far in final frame deciders. So he scraped his way through so far. Well, he's going to have to work the cue ball again. I don't know whether he can hold for the black there. He looks as if he's got too much angle. Unless he goes behind the reds and back up the table on the right hand side. Well, he's overhit it, but he's overhit it the right way because he's still in the table and he's still got a choice to come back up for a red. Now again, he's still got the same problem. If he goes forward, he can only play really in one red, and the weight looks good. That is pretty nigh perfect. Well, there's a slight angle there. It's not enough that he's going to be able to stun into that red and leave himself in the black, I don't think. He's got to come back up the table, and then he's got to find a way to come down this side for the reds that we see there, if he gets that far. But I think he can still draw over to the right and up the table a wee bit for the black into the left hand bottom corner pocket here as we look. Oh, he's going to round the corner. Took a big risk there and now he's in trouble. Big trouble. And Stubbs' break is on 36. And well, the lead is 17 points, but it might be a lot less than that by the time he's finished here, because I think Bedhead will be sticking him back in if he doesn't get a hit in the colour, and I think he's very tight to this red. That's the problem. The problem is trying to find an angle out of this hole here. He's in a lot of trouble. And it could be Christmas come early here for Bedhead with a foul and miss. Now the question is, I mean, it's automatically going to be a foul and miss anyway. The question is how good the algorithm is for this, that Stubbs going to have to play 2 rails at least. What did he call? He's called to Brown. And the danger with this shot is he could leave a free ball. Well, he's played it well, he's got the hit, and that's excellent. That was a good shot. That was tough. It wasn't easy to read. And he knows he's played a good shot. He's doing the old mix it up with the with the chat again, don't miss. And Bedhead, like I thought, was probably thinking he was going to get a few points there, but Stubb has pulled off a good kick to hit that Brown, and Bedhead's final mistake might be what he's just played there. He hasn't got the length of the cue ball, and he's left the red exposed. How does that look from Stubbs' end? He's trying to stun out for the black, but he hasn't got there. So it's not over yet. But Stubb creeps further and further away. Oh, the mistake. Now this is Bedhead's last chance, I think, to maybe stay in this match. He's going to have to make something here. And these three reds that are sitting, well, one of them has to go first in order for him to be successful in doing anything in the remains of this frame. That one has to go, because that then opens up the other two. Now is he trying to break them now? He may well be. He's going to have to work the cue ball though. Or is he going to come back across? Yeah, and I think he's gone too far. Has he? No, he's okay. Well, of course, the other problem is, the thing I totally forgot about, he's put the black back in the spot, and that's ruined those two reds. And the blue, well, of course, the blue's over the corner pocket as a rescue ball in the top right hand corner. So if he ever gets really ugly, he can always take that as the escape route. But if he doesn't have any decent angle here, well, he's got an angle. He just needs to nudge something, and he's got to surely have a shot on the red. Has to pot the black though. Can't lose focus on that. Well, is that going to get there? Well, it's tight, but it goes. He's going to run up the table. Remember, he's got the blue, but that's going to be difficult to judge to get the cue ball back up the table for this last red. Well, how good's his judgment here? He's got a choice, but he has to come down the right hand side. Now if he plays the blue with right hand side and just chips it in, but the problem with that is it's just on the jaw. Well, he has a dilemma here as to how he gets near this red. If he tries to cut the blue and go with helping left hand side, he's bound to run into traffic and balk there. So, well, good luck to him with this shot, because we know the red's only going into one pocket this end of the table. I still would be more inclined to play the blue with right hand side, just chip it in and check the cue ball and get down the right hand side of the table. Well, this time Stubbs thought better, not Stubb, Bedhead's thought better of it, and he's now played what looked to be the right shot, but it's not good enough. It is not good enough. He's left the red exposed, and that is probably a good guide for Stubb to chip this in. Blue hanging over the corner pocket still. 1 point in it. It's a brave attempt. It's a brave attempt. But Bedhead has his second chance from it to snatch this frame. Now, just 1 point behind. So, obviously, red and black, but he has a choice though, because if he takes the blue, it at least opens up the baulk pocket in both sides of the table. Like for example for the brown, he's taking the black. Let's see if he's done the right choice here. So it's imperative now, and he's gone again a bit too far for this yellow. Well, he's got an easy safety because the yellow's not going past the blue, so he can just bank the yellow if he wants to play safe. Try and get a snooker if he wants. That would be the sensible shot, because this is not easy to pot and get good on this green. The blue's the blocking ball, and that's what he's done. He's trying to get cover, but I think he's too heavy. Yep, and he might find himself in trouble in a second. How does that look? Just a bit too heavy as well. Well, Bedhead's going to get another go at this. Well, I'll tell you what my theory is about the shots that we're missing. These tables, I think, have tightened up, and I think it's probably to do with the humidity and the temperature. I mean, that's galvanized rubber that's in the rails, and I'm sure that my theory is that the rails have expanded ever so slightly with the heat and the temperature differences, because there's air conditioning on and there's all sorts of stuff going on, television lights and everything in there, and you can see that these corner pockets are tight on the tables. They look a lot tighter than what they were at the start of the tournament, and the temperature down south over the last 4 or 5 days has been, well, it's been in the mid-30s down south. Maybe not as hot in Sheffield, but I think that's played a big part with the way those tables are running, because like, some days the guys were saying that the tables feel heavy. And Mark Williams sent Stephen Hendry in commentary in the first session yesterday. Mark Williams in the interval got on the phone to Stephen Hendry and told him that the tables are really tight, or they're playing really tight. And also the other thing is they've got the table heaters on as well. So whether they've got them on an awful lot, I don't know, but the rails have definitely tightened up. Anyway, let's not lose focus here. Bedhead has a 9-point lead. That blue is going to act as a blocker, make it an easy safety. Where's this cue ball going? Is that going to just nudge behind a black? Oh, very close. Now this is a dangerous safety for Stubb. Yep, he's not risking it. He's played it gentle. He could have been braver and tried to bring the cue ball back up the table, but he would have had too much pace in the green, and it would have went back over the left hand side. But the target area is up with the black. The dangerous thing with this is risking going in off, but this looks good. If it keeps running, hasn't quite got there. The Perseid meteors, whereabouts are they in the sky? In the north, south, east or west? Mind you, it's cloudy up here tonight, so I won't see anything. Yeah, but you must agree, you look a bit of a twat if you're standing out in your back garden looking up at the sky and looking entirely the wrong direction, and then you say, well, I was out all night and I never saw anything. So they're either low in the eastern sky, low in the western sky, coming out of the south, or coming out of the north. Well, this could go on for quite a while here, but somebody's going to have to take the risk. Maybe a risk of a bank at some point, or try and get that cue ball tucked behind the black. Somebody has to take the initiative, and I don't think Stubb will be the one that will do that. I think he'll be quite happy to keep things the way they are until hopefully Bedhead makes a mistake. Now, is anybody going to risk pushing the green towards the blue? Well, there's your answer to that. This could get very interesting. Although Bedhead can do a similar shot to Stubb. Bank the green to the rail, cue ball off the end rail and try and get distance on it this time. That's better. That's a much better shot. Bit too pacey though, is it? Yeah. Well, at least it's awkward. And at that distance it makes the safety a lot more difficult for Stubb. Avoided the double kiss. Now this time Bedhead can get a better go at trying to get behind this black. Needs to get it thin though. Oh, he's too heavy again. Just getting the weight a bit too much. Well, the obvious safety is cut the green to there, and cue ball to there and over here somewhere. Try and use the brown or the pink, but I think he's left it in the gap. Yeah. Well, sooner or later one of these two players is going to play the shot that will make the difference in this frame. And you would think it's all going to hinge on the green. The only awkward ball is the brown, so it depends where the green is eventually going to be potted, because obviously we know that the brown isn't going past the blue, it's only going into the top left. Thin edge, very thin edge, and a bit of pace again for distance. Trying once again to come down to the black. This is better pace, maybe too soft though. Well, the more practice Bedhead gets at this shot, the more likely he is to find the pace in at least one of them. And again, he's got the chance. Same again, feather edge of the green, just barely touch it with a bit of right hand side. Kick off that end rail, side rail. This is a better angle to do it, by the way. Well, he's gone the other way, but this time Bedhead has made the mistake. Is it going to cost him though? Because that brown and where the blue is might be his lifeline. And the angle's there for Stubb to get around and over to the right. So it's full-blooded to win the match here. And once again, he'll be winning a frame from behind. And what's happening? Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. And Stubb has the match within his grasp. So can he get on the pink? Still trailing by 2. Needs all of the balls. Black's a gimme. And he's staring down the barrel of the pink. Well, you got to say it, guys. Stubb has came up with the goods when it was asked of him. It's been asked of him 3 times tonight, and he's produced it 3 times. That's well done to Stubb. A very good victory by 3 frames to 1. 2 frames before he stole them with good clearances, and the final one, the final error by Bedhead, was the one that cost him the match, and Stubb wins out by 3 frames to 1, and well done to Stubb. And so let's have a look at the bracket, and Stubb is sitting on the loser side, and he's waiting on the winner, the loser, get that right for God's sake, the loser of the match that's coming up later on tonight. So it's just under, what, an hour and 3/4, it's 9:45 here, at 11:30 British Summer Time. We've got the match between Barker's 155 and Moz, due to start at 11:30. I'll be there. I hope you guys will be there. Thanks a lot for your company, chaps. Maybe see you later. Now remember, if you can't stay up to watch this, all you need to do is go to my YouTube channel tomorrow. It'll be there on the channel. You can watch it in full, and it'll be archived along with all the other matches in the tournament that we've managed to get. Once again, thanks to the players for arranging the match at a time to suit me. I don't know whether they did or they didn't, but it's appreciated. And thank you guys for your company. So stay safe, keep your distance, and if you want, join me again in an hour or so's time for the big match, the match of the tourney later on. Until then, I'll see you later.